Transfer taxes for real estate are at 78.4% of the budget and less than the prior year by $6,782. The earned income tax, which is the largest revenue source for the township, is currently at 78.13% of the budget and more than the prior year's collections by $19,853. Interest income is exceeding the budgeted expectations. Interest income is at 156.12% of the budget ahead of the last year, no doubt due to our high interest rates. State revenues and entitlements such as the public utility real estate tax, pension state aid, and foreign fire insurance tax revenues generally are received in September and October timeframe. So we'll be expecting those probably sometime before or shortly after next month's meeting. I did just get a email today from the state that the fire pass-through money will be coming in the next couple of weeks here. Total revenue collections are less than 2023 by $88,720. This is largely due to the timing of receipts for the PennDOT winter road contract revenue. The state pension revenue, which was received in February 2023 for 2022, proceeds from sales of fixed assets and DCNR grants. Expenditures are at 37.3% of the budget, as we budgeted to use the American Rescue Plan money for this year's road project. So that number will increase significantly once we pay all of our contractors and material fees for the road program. But we have not expanded those two large items to date. Without those two items, expenditures are at 64% of the budget. And finally, the cash from the 5 CDs that matured in August were received and transferred to the Pliggett investment accounts for all except the water fund. The water fund is still in the Victory cash account and will be transferred to Pliggett in September.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to forward to the treasurer the amount of $53,770.92 to pay the bills before we accrue any interest or penalties.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Plymouth Community Ambulance report.
Okay, I'll just go ahead and read this. For Upper Frederick Township, the monthly total was 34 calls. Year-to-date, 238 calls. For Frederick Living, the monthly total is 23 calls. Total year-to-date, 114. And as always, there's a mention down here, any township resident interested in an ambulance membership, please call 610-277-2776, extension 1. Is there anybody here from the fire department?
Mr. Kenna.
For people who don't know me, I'm Doug Kennedy, the fire chief of the firehouse. Right now, for the month of August, we ran 16 calls. Total year, for the year, the calls are up at 117. Volunteer hours for the month of August was really high. It was 951 hours, and 540 of it was for the Goshen Hump. We spent a lot of time over there. And let's see, total volunteers for the hours for the year is at 4,000. I guess I have a question for you. I didn't know where we were at with the fire marshal position. We had a tour of the Mennonite home, and boy, I wasn't happy with some of the stuff I saw in there. Fire doors propped, apartments that said they were vacant, and they weren't. You know, we did a tour together, and it's just, I don't know what to do. You know?
Well, as we said, we were using the, we utilized, I think, what was it, Pat resigned in January there. As fire chief and fire marshal, so we reached out to the state. They'll be handling that. They'll be covering that. Might revisit Tom Gammon again, see what he thinks about coming up. I know we had spoke to you guys about putting one of the members forward there, but The salary there wasn't conducive to what I thought it should be, and there was zero qualification, so I don't know, did he end up going to school, or is he, do we further
He
education?
teaches, I think one of the handsome boys, he teaches at, I think it's Somerton. So he wanted to try to do everything in the summertime, he could go to Harrisburg, to do
Sure.
classes. But I was with Tom, and Tom said he's willing to help us anyway, he just doesn't want to be committed, you know? So if I do have a bad fire where I feel like I need investigation right away, Tom would help me. It's just stuff like the homes and daycares I'm a little worried about, you know?
Sure.
And we went over there the other night, and they paid somebody to do their fire. Normally, fire marshals there, what they doing, and oversees it, but these.
Sure. Did they know to contact the state, or?
No, they didn't do nothing.
They
They were surprised to see us there.
Okay. If you see them again, you can direct them to us, or Sean, could you reach out to the home? Let them know that the state will be handling that for the foreseeable future. I can reach out to Tom and see what he says, if he wants to come in here and, you know, part-time, and I mean, it's not like we require a lot.
He had a lot going on with his grandson, now his grandson went to college, so he might have the time.
That's what that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. And the only other thing I just want to bring up, one of the gentlemen that went to college, it's a young member of ours, he was in the Boy Scouts, and he did an Eagle project, and the project was to re-energize our siren, get it going again and everything, you know. As a chief, I really don't know why we need it, but that was his project, okay? We went along with it. My stipulations was to go visit all the neighbors, make sure they were okay with it. Well, the other week we had, I wanted to say that was like a BS type call. We didn't get a very good response, and our siren went again for the second time, and they were having a family outing across the street. Of course, he came over, he was fuming, and so I went over and I had to talk with him, and he said nobody ever approached him. So it's like, put my blood pressure up here. I'm like, I can't believe this. So right now we have the siren turned off. I invited him to an officers meeting this weekend, and he didn't show up. So we're going to send something in writing to see if he'll come over and see if we can come to a happy medium, maybe only, blow it 2 times or certain times of the day. And so we'll see. But that's where we're at, and there's really no other big functions going on. We're just get back into training.
Of these calls, Doug, could you tell me, so you brought up the Frederick living there, how many of these are those false calls over there?
Frederick living, we had 3 calls that were false alarm.
3 false. Do we ever get to the root of what they are? Is that just people pulling it, or?
No, they have a wireless system. It's usually in the cottages where we have the alarm. If we usually have in the cottages, it's a wireless system, so I don't know what happens. They get low battery, and it sends a signal that there's a fire, not that there's a trouble.
Yeah.
So, and then we found out that these guys were turning different cottages off while they were working on them, and it was still setting off the fire alarm. Here, whoever did all the labeling for the apartments to the alarm system had the numbers all mixed up. So like if we turned off 5:30 and they were working and, 5:30, it would still go off because it was really hooked to like 7:10 or something like that. So I got to the root of that, and I'm the bad guy when I show up to these false alarms. Believe me, I don't like it down to 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, when it's simple as a battery replacement.
Sure.
And I just feel that it's a shame to all these guys.
Sure.
Now, we've had a call the other night, 3:30 in the morning. It was somebody with a mental issue. It's the second or third time she's done it. Said she's fighting the fire, her living room is on fire, and she's going out and staying in her car. We got 6 fire companies from the area going to this call in Springmount. There's nothing there. It was the night you could sleep, Saturday, Friday, going into Saturday. I'm like, man, I'm looking to get some sleep in, and no, you can't go back to sleep.
So you're 10 months on the job and you're getting grayer by the day.
Yeah.
Do we know who the fire company, the fire company is? Do we know who the fire alarm company is?
No, I don't know.
Maybe, Sean, we can find out who that is and see what we can do about getting it organized over there.
The gentleman from I don't remember his name offhand, because Jeff and Jason handle it, but he's very outgoing. He's willing to talk to us whatever problems we have, and then he just had a changeover. Somebody else bought them in on it, and it's like a different, and so things have changed. We went into our boxes where we can get the keys to get in.
Sure.
All the keys were gone, but our access cards were there, but there's spots where we need keys to get into, and so that's being addressed now.
So I would say this, Doug, maybe you send us something in writing of the things you would like us to address over there.
Okay,
And then maybe we send them something.
Yeah.
And ask them.
right, exactly.
And hopefully get something done for you.
Yeah, all right, I appreciate that.
Hey, no problem,
All right.
no problem. Fire, water, sewer?
Plants are running pretty good. Problems at Perkiomen Crossing, no violations to report. Lost a pump in the groundwater wet well. That keeps the groundwater out of the area around the tank so they don't pop.
Okay.
So hopefully we can get that one next week. I think they're going up to Granger tomorrow. Sean Durante to open an account.
I'm sorry, I don't know, Bill, or Steve Heller is.
Yeah, he
on
talked with
that
that.
right now.
They're supposed to go up tomorrow.
I will check.
Maybe
it.
they'll have one in stock. I sent all the information to Steve. And then also lost a pump on Rad's waste pump lost. And temporary put a sump pump I brought from one of my other plants and put it in there to keep the plant operating. But it's the same type of pump that's in the other one. All the pumps are pretty much all the same in that, which is nice, that you can just only have to keep one in stock for
Sure.
backup. So I asked Steve to get, if he could get two tomorrow or, by, Monday or Tuesday, see what they are. They're $1,500 a piece. Well, it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, but we gotta operate it. And another problem, my digester wasn't sending a proper radio signal to my control panel in the building. I troubleshooted that and determined if the 20-volt power supply was bad. So I bought one of them, put that in, it's reading good. So, and mixers. I talked with the guy yesterday, and hopefully we can get them ordered because the price is going to go up sometime in September. And, they're the only ones around. I mean, they're the East Coast rep, so.
So I included this invoice for the supervisors, Vicki, just to make sure we're above board. It's over the state threshold. It would require 3 bids. However, Steve has confirmed this is a sole source provider. I don't know if it's proprietary, but the only company that produces this is, I guess, in Sweden or somewhere. And the price is also due to go up next month. I believe this issue was tabled from the last meeting agenda, so while it's not on this meeting's agenda, I believe it would still be okay to vote and approve for those funds.
Did you table it from the last meeting?
We did,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's just put in the township file the fact that Steve confirmed, please, that there's no other source
Okay.
to document the fact that we're going forward without the quotes because we can't get any other quotes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the problem with plate manufacturer. I mean, they build pump stations and every little relay is theirs.
Right.
And,
The only game in town.
yep, and you can't, use the off-brand stuff in their equipment. That's the problem. But there's very few people that can give you a whole pump station to say, okay, here's your pump station. And not many companies can do that,
Sure.
So that's it.
Sounds like we got caught by the short hairs on that. Is what it comes down to.
Yeah. Yeah, personally, I would never design a plant with flight equipment, so.
Is that something in the future if we upgrade or do something
Yeah, I
in the future,
would,
we
yes.
could get away from that, correct?
Yeah,
Okay. Let's just keep that in mind.
yep,
20 grand is 20 grand.
yeah.
Cheaper than letting it break.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no maintenance to do to prevent it, that's the problem. And their equipment, like, that thing might have, every screw has an O-ring in it, where other people build them with actual flanges to prevent, leakage in.
Yeah.
They don't, they just use O-rings on their screws and stuff, and it's just, but they're so expensive, it's just ridiculous.
Okay. So we need to make a motion for that, Bill.
Was this, were they ever replaced before, or is this the first time they're being?
No,
replaced?
they go out probably every 3 years.
So at what point can we change this out to a different style?
We would have to, you could do it any time, but you would have to change the whole mounting rail and everything.
What type of cost are we looking at for that?
Probably that cost, but it'd be worth it.
So that's what I'm like, I'm wondering what we're doing today, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? In the future, let's start gearing towards that, because this here just sounds
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna change that, how we're doing this in the future. We are gonna approve this because we have to do it now.
Correct. Yeah, and I can look into, like, I think the land dye makes a real good mixer. Because you get ones that they just put in there, but then they clog with all the rags, because that plant should actually have a real nice non-night bar screen, which we don't. All it has is the cutters. So any type of stuff that comes in, it just cuts it small. Well, then it just makes a big rag anyplace else, and they grow. You know, I call it rags, but it's like hair, and
Yeah, right.
they just grow and grow and grow. But if you get a nice screen on there, it collects all that stuff, and then your plant will be spotless with that kind of debris.
This is the third time we're doing this?
Uh,
We knew we could change this out before?
And that's my question is, if it's gonna be 20, roughly 20 grand to change it out to a new system, then why are we?
Should we just do it now?
should we just do
I
that?
don't know if you could get one that quick. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know if anybody.
and if we don't do this,
I'm
then
not an
we're gonna be
engineer.
paying more, right?
I'm not an engineer to
We're gonna cost-
decide what size. If you know anybody that.
Nah. Nah, you need your computer fixed, I'm your guy. You know what I mean? You need to see what
They
stuff's
just-
going.
Their
No.
well's so big, and then they gotta calculate how much velocity they need to.
All right, so we're gonna do this. This will be the last time. I would like you to start looking into
Sure.
how we don't do this again.
No problem.
All right.
Make a motion to approve $20,640 for the replacement of the 2 mixers.
I appreciate it. I
I
got
second.
DEP coming sometime this
So that's the other problem.
Yeah,
That's the other problem, because that's a little more than the 20 grand, I would imagine.
yes, yes. And
So we can't do this.
they'll ask where they are, and I can say they're on order, and that'll be acceptable.
Okay, I appreciate it. All right, so we're good with that. All right.
Thank you.
Yep. Yes, sir. Public Works, Steve's still down with strep throat, I imagine?
Yes, sir.
Unbelievable.
So I will step in for him.
Nice.
This past month, the Public Works crew's been, busy with the typical summertime items, park maintenance and mowing, roadside mowing. They were out there again today doing some roadside mowing. Asphalt patches, and Steve, while he's been out, has still been diligent about getting it down to Faust Road and addressing some issues that are coming up, with residents, contractor, whoever. So thank you, Steve, for that. And then all work orders per request. For equipment, the 2018 Dodge F550 had a coolant reservoir replaced and a coolant flush due to some buildup and a warning light on the dashboard. And all the machines were grease serviced. So
This is all done in-house? They specify?
the coolant was not. I did see an invoice for some coolant from Little's, I believe. So the greasing of the machines is done in-house.
Just don't want to see all the money fly out the window in one house.
Supporting local business.
Civil engineer?
Okay, LTL has updated the engineer's report for the month of September, forwarded to the township for distribution. There really wasn't a whole lot to update here. The big thing really on here is the Faust Road project. We're moving forward with that, actually making some pretty decent progress. We've had a couple of, probably about 3 changes We shortened up the length of a swale because we didn't need to do all of this. We put in a driveway cross pipe that after we got done cleaning the swale out, found out it was more deteriorated than it was so filled with material. We kind of it took the assumption that it was okay. It wasn't. Steve had a piece, contractor put it in. So we're doing some trading here. They're doing a little less here, a little more here. It's again, really good contractor to work with. They're very reasonable. And then most recently, just between the entrance of Puck Road and Scioto, we had the bioswale that was going in, and where the pipe was discharging to the bioswale. Once we had done cleaning all the sediment out there, we found out that the invert from the pipe to the edge of the road was deeper than we thought. So I actually just met with the contractor yesterday, and we're going to put an inlet in there with a length of pipe to get that closer to grade, so we don't have a big drop off, and then it'll still go to the bioswale. So again, they're just field changes. There's no way we could kind of excavate all of that material and find out what that invert is, but we a solution in place, so we're doing that. Really, I would say the big thing with Faust Road is the traffic safety and the road closure. Okay, I was at last meeting and I had indicated that basically we're going to maintain lane of traffic just like we had done the previous year, and that was the intention, the full intention. And last year we were working on a section of Faust Road that was definitely more open. Okay, there are sections of Faust Road now, albeit from I'll just simply say Little to Big, and then from Little to Southwood Station, where it narrows up. We've got guide rail or whatever. And depending on what the contractor is doing, obviously if he's doing a cross pipe, they've got to close the road periodically. Okay, but the main problem we're having is people are just flying on that road. I was there one time, and there was a young girl. While I was there, actually it was that cross pipe, and not a lot of road, and anybody who's seen the track, so they take up more than a normal passenger vehicle, and you've got a track over there, and some of the sections of road are 16 and a half, 17 feet wide. They're really minimal, and you need 16 feet to get liquid fuels. Okay, so this particular time, girl must have gone through 40, 45 miles an hour, right next to the tracks. If she had gone off the edge of the road and overcorrected, who knows what could have happened. About 10 minutes later, came back through the other way, big smile on her face, going even faster. 2 days ago, our inspector was up at the intersection of Little and Faust, where the contractor has a laydown area. Right there was a big gravel area, and they had a laydown area, and they were getting ready in the morning to go. And a car coming up Faust Road blew through. Both of the stop signs they estimated, in their words, not mine, 50 to 60 miles an hour, blew right through both of the stop signs. And we just can't have anybody getting killed. It's kind of gotten out of control. So we told the contractor, if you can maintain traffic, great. But spoke with Steve Heller, actually called you, Bill, just make sure we can kind of get a nod on that. And it's unsafe.
Yeah.
So we've got to get the road done. We don't want to impact the traveling public. Now, that's to say from an emergency standpoint, and the buses, we haven't got a call from Quigley's because they know, and actually I think the signs even wrote accept buses, but we made a call. Someone has someone who drives for Quigley, and they pass the word around, they know they can get through. And they have been able to get through. If they're doing a cross pipe, we make sure that the buses can get through, or